Welcome to this short introductory video about our Open Interfaith Health Science Center Zoom Sanctuary Inspirational Gatherings. The next is on the 4th of January, noon Winnipeg time. You're all invited. Dear God, having had a spiritual experience, I must now remember that faith without works is dead. And practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from my struggles as intensive work with others who share my struggles. So God, please help me to carry this message to others. Provide me with the guidance and wisdom to talk with those who are suffering, because I can help when no one else can. Help me secure His confidence and remember He is ill. A Confluence of Holy Souls in Islam by Sheikh Shuhab Hassan. 2 deaths and 2 lives. The Quran mentions 2 deaths and 2 lives given to us by Allah. How can you reject faith in Allah, seeing that you were dead and He gave you life? Then He will cause you to die, then He will bring you to life. Then to Him will be your return. 2nd Surah, verse 28. They will say, Our Lord, twice have you given us death, and twice have you given us life. Verse 11. The 2 deaths, the 2 lives. We're alive, but not really. When we gain faith, it is the death of that life. And then we live the life of faith, and in that death, we are born into the next world. All are welcome in these gatherings. We're all equal here. Everyone is free to suggest any changes that will make this a more fruitful gathering, or to take over arranging all or part of any session. In each gathering, there is a moment to get to know each other. What are we each praying for? What is on our hearts? What poem, prayer, quote, song have you brought to share? Oh God, help me to deal with the level that I came to scoff. Help me that I may remain to pray with meek and unaffected grace. Mrs. Warren, a nurse and a midwife and a Bahai from Botswana, was largely sponsored by the Lutheran World Federation in part because of her participation in Interfaith Action for Peace in Africa, which was initiated by the Lutherans. Her role reflected the participation of Baha'is here, many making presentations or representing various interfaith and academic organizations. Lakota culture, Lakota legends. How people learn to fish. Mato was a very small bear when he came into this world. He was born in a cave deep within the earth. He was not big enough to harm anybody. His mother called him Matokiagala in the language of the people. We'll read the whole story of how he taught the people to fish. Honoring all the children that did not come home. Verily with exceeding joy, with heart and soul, do these oppressed to thine offer themselves up for all mankind in every land. Thou seest them, O my Lord, weeping over the tears thy people shed, mourning the grief of thy children, condoling with humankind, suffering because of the calamities that have beset all the denizens of the earth. Interfaith, multi-faith, why the difference? The 6th of the 6 types of interfaith dialogue is inner dialogue, which takes place within each individual as religious perspectives change on encountering other faiths. This is the dialogue that takes place in our minds and hearts when we read the Bhagavad Gita, when we meet a Buddhist monk or nun, when we hear the Muslim call to prayer, or when we share the Shabbat meal with Jewish friends. The achievement of full equality between the sexes is one of the most important prerequisites for building a unified world. Gender prejudice perpetuates an injustice against women and promotes in men harmful attitudes and habits that are carried from the family to the workplace to economic and political life and ultimately to relations among states. There are no grounds, moral, practical, or biological, upon which denial of the equality of the sexes can be justified. The dialogue about murdered and missing Aboriginal women is important, for to build a community we all feel we belong in. It is a hard discussion and a difficult one, even traumatic to hear. Our Aboriginal sisters have had to go through this trauma. We can learn how they deal with being traumatized and can draw on their strength. It is too much. You can mute everything for the duration of the next slide. Norma Jacobs Guyo Koyuyao. Over 400 years ago, the original peoples made the first treaty with European settlers called the Two Rows Wampum Treaty. The Two Row Treaty was about each people respecting each other's sacred boundaries. Every treaty was made with good intentions, respect, compassion, and love. Today, all of our demands are about respecting our values and principles. Settlers should respect Turtle Island from our perspective, as visitors in our homes. We have to speak out and instill responsibility, accountability in each and every living person. The world of humanity is possessed of two wings, the male and the female, observed Abdu'l-Baha. So long as these two wings are not equivalent in strength, the bird will not fly. Do Black Lives Matter? Most certainly, for they are the pupil of the eye of humanity. Testimonies, confirmations. How is God showing up in your life? The confirmations of the Spirit are all those powers and gifts which some are born with, and which men sometimes call genius, but for which others have to strive with infinite pains. They come to that man or woman who accepts his life with radiant acquiescence. Abdu'l-Baha. Make a list of your friends and invite them to this devotional or a devotional you begin. It is a gift from you to them. The devotional you begin can be as simple as phoning a friend and sharing a prayer with them. They may be sick and need a healing prayer, struggling and need to share is there any remover of difficulties prayer. It is a gift from you to them. A devotional consists of two or more hearts connecting in prayer. Hope you're able to join us next Tuesday, January the 4th, noon Winnipeg time at our devotional on Zoom, or that you're able to begin your own. Hope you have a good week. Take good care.